Hey Woomates, I wanted to come on here today to kind of air out some dirty laundry from the spiritual industry. I have had a couple of conversations in the last week that really made me feel like I needed to come on here and help people who might be struggling and help people that may be thinking that they're doing the spiritual industry a service, but they're really not. So last weekend, I was at this really big event in Toronto, and I had somebody come up to me and ask me about what I thought about other spiritual teachers bashing spiritual teachers. And immediately, my heart just constricted. And I was thinking, I don't want to ask who it is. I don't want to ask what it's about. But through that conversation, I realized that we're in a lot of trouble in this industry right now. It is a bullying mentality. And, I don't really understand that concept, especially within the spiritual industry, because we're here to enlighten each other. We're here to raise each other up. We're here to inspire each other. And how can you sit in this industry and tear people down? So, the conversation was really like, well, I went for this mentoring, and while I was being mentored, they just went down a list of other mediums in the area and really tore them a new one. And she said immediately she felt disheartened. Immediately she felt like this wasn't the right place to be. And when she tried to back out of that situation, it didn't go so well. So I want to speak to the two pieces of this. I want to speak to the student because that's who I interact with mostly in this forum. Yes, I speak to teachers. Yes, I have friends that are teachers. Yes, I'm in the community. But I think for the student, this is really, really, really important. And Vix and I talked about this on our little chat yesterday about how you really have to do your research in this industry. Somebody can go and take a weekend retreat and absorb that information and then a month later turn around and spit it back out, and they may not know what they're talking about. And I understand people's desire to immediately act in service, to immediately want to give back. But this is a profession that has, gotten to where it is because people have worked really hard to get there. My journey has not been a short one. Vix's journey has not been a short one. All the other teachers in this world, it has not been a short one. And there is reasons behind that. We need to honor the work. We need to respect. And hey, if you want to do that, if you want to turn around and spit out somebody else's information and call it your own, go for it. Or not call it your own. But if you want to spit it back out, tell people where you got that information from. There's a prayer that I love to do, and it's Kyle Gray's prayer. And every single time I say that prayer, I will say, this is what I got from Kyle Gray. He always talks about, tell the angels, this is not my lifetime for suffering. This is my lifetime for abundance and joy. And I always reference him when I say that. And that is so very important because we can't, take from people and not think that that is going to affect us. So, one, be careful of who you choose as a spiritual teacher. Do your research, ask for references, just like anything else. You're not just going to go and, pick some psychotherapist out of the yellow page, well, not the yellow pages, off the internet and just say, well, I think they're good. You're probably going to follow them for a while. You're going to probably look at their blog. You're probably going to look for referrals. You're probably going to look for their rating if they have somewhere that they're rated. We need to start doing this in the spiritual industry too. There's tons of retreats that I want to go on and what I want to do, but I'm always like, I'm going to follow them for a little while longer and see if they're actually doing the work. So as a student, you have to do the same thing. Is that person showing up and doing the work? Are they, being a resource and not a sales pitch? That's always my little I don't know. This is all about like, what can I get from you, and not, and I'm not saying we all have to give stuff for free all the time, but also this is an industry of sharing. This is an industry of abundance. Every single spiritual teacher, I don't talk about it much, but everybody talks about manifesting. Everybody talks about abundance. And if you're aware of this spiritual industry, you know that there is abundance for all. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I've been wounded. I've dealt with this issue in my own business for years. People come in, take something, spit it out, and that makes you angry inside. I get it. I understand. But when these things show up, now this is for the teachers. If you're feeling wounded, if you're feeling torn down, take a step back. Look at why you're feeling this way. I'm just trying to think, years, I would say it was really bad. There was a 3-year period where it was really bad that people would come and take my workshop and do exactly that. Take the content, turn around and spit it out a month later. And it killed me in the beginning. In the beginning, I just couldn't stand it. And I was always like, what are you doing? Of course, I am the kind of person that is going to call them on it. And I'm not going to let that happen, because as business people, we also have to be protective of our content. We have to be protective of what it is that we put into the world. I always talk about like Nike chases every single person that puts a swoosh anywhere. Adidas, any of the big, like Starbucks, any of them, they chase it all. I know people that have got those pieces of paper. I remember in high school, somebody was copying DVDs, and two guys in black suits showed up at his home with a cease and desist and said, you can't do this. Big companies chase. And even though we're not big companies, we need to, just like we create boundaries energetically in our own lives, we need to create boundaries for our businesses. But if you're in a situation where people are taking and taking and taking, or you feel like somebody has something that you want, look at why this is triggering you. Why is it triggering you? Like I had to do, and it's why I talk about my healing journey so much. For the past 2-3 years, I've been on a quest to figure out why I feel abandonment and betrayal in everything that I do. In my relationships, in my friendships, in my business, all of those things. And guess what? I sat down, I did the work, and now I can come from a place where I can have this conversation and not be angry, not be pissed off, not be bitter, not be angsty, not be, retaliating. I can sit here and go, hey, I know why you're cutting down other mediums. I know why you're doing this, because you're coming from a wounded place. You're coming from a place of not feeling like you're enough, not feeling like you're doing everything you should be doing. And that's not a great place to be teaching from. So if you are a teacher and you're feeling these wounds, stop teaching immediately and go and do some healing work. I did it. I can say this because I've done it. I understand where you're at. I was hurting badly when this stuff happened to me, but I learned from it. I embraced it. And I went, what is the universe trying to teach me? Why is this happening to me right now? And instead of allowing it to destroy my business, it made my business 10 times better. I feel like I'm coming from a place of solid groundwork. I'm coming from a place of understanding. And I still don't know it all. I'm still going to have things that trigger me. I'm going to have stuff that affects me and rocks me to my core. But instead of retaliating and getting angry and, doing something that could possibly hurt my business while retaliating, I'm just going to step back and go, hey, why is this hurting me? Why is this affecting me? Why is this pissing me off so much? And sit with it for a while. Do some meditations around it. And I am not white lighting this. I am not spiritual bypassing. I am not saying don't get mad if somebody steals your stuff, because get mad. There's a purpose for it. But don't necessarily go on the attack. Don't, retaliate with hate or, tear somebody down. just ponder it for a while. And I will tell you, it is the best thing I have ever done for myself. And I please ask that students do your research, get referrals, follow the people that you want to do a workshop for a while. Don't just go, ooh, this looks interesting, and go for it, because we're having a little bit of a struggle right now in this industry. It's rising and it's coming up and people are getting excited about this industry. But that excitement doesn't always equate to the fact that you should become a teacher. The excitement is, hey, maybe I should do this for myself. Maybe I should bring this into the business that I'm already in. Maybe I should incorporate this into, working with farm animals. Maybe I should incorporate this into being a childcare worker. Maybe I should incorporate this into being a machinist. I have no idea. But just because you're drawn to something doesn't mean you should become a teacher. And we've all sat in a class where somebody shouldn't be teaching something, and we all go, oh God, that was such a waste of a day. Let's not do that. Let's just allow the teachers to rise up. Let's allow the people that need to be doing that do their thing, and let this industry thrive, because I am so passionate about helping people. I am so passionate about where this industry is going and what we're going to be able to create in the coming years. Why not just put joy into it? If you're for one moment feeling hate about something, if you're for one moment feeling bitter about something, take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and ponder why it's happening. And don't retaliate, meditate. Bye for now, woo mates.